Hello, this is Dr. Garrett Castleberry, Program Director for Communication, Media, and Ethics at Mid-America Christian University. I am here with our Week 4 video discussion prompt for COM 4103, Special Topics in Media Studies. Our emphasis this course, Mythic Media in America. Hashtag Mythic Media. One of the books that we are exploring in this course is John Shelton Lawrence and Robert Jewett's The Myth of the American Superhero. And one of the great things about this book is it is a broader examination of American culture, and particularly the kinds of myths that have been created in popular culture over time and repeated again and again. Repetition, always a key theme when we're talking about mythology. It's not the only text we examine. We're looking at Chris Gaviler's superhero comics, as well as a graphic novel case study that we explore each week. That would be Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, or Batman The Dark Knight Returns from 1986. And one of the ways in which we have to approach these texts is to pick and choose the most important chapters that can fit together in this fast track section. All right, and so while we could highly recommend the entirety of Lawrence and Jewett's book, in week 4 of this course we will skip ahead to Unit 4, and Unit 4's key themes: hymns and creeds of the American monomyth. What's that all about, that header? Well, if we're reading, we're starting to pick or put together the strands that the authors, the scholars are weaving together, okay? And so they are formulating this American monomyth theorization about popular culture in America, and they are tying it to Joseph Campbell's theorization of a monomyth, or the universal type of mythic structure. And when we get to Unit 4, it's comprised of chapters 9 through 14. And so what we are going to do here, it's the perfect sized unit for our course, and the size of this distinct class. We will each select a single chapter, okay? And once those chapters are divvied out between us, our goal will be to report back about that chapter. All right, and so this is not just a book report. It is an informed and prepared and properly presented report on your assigned reading. That assigned reading will accompany this video on the D2L newsfeed, and we will make sure you get that in the Remind announcement feed as well. All right, and so when you are approaching this video discussion response, that is a reading response, all right, our video report for short, a couple of things to keep in mind. First, while in an ideal world everyone's getting to read everyone else's chapters, there is just far too much content to cover in such a short amount of time. So that's why each one of us is taking the lead on a specific chapter, okay? So when you take the lead on a chapter, that means you're the general. You're in charge of the information. You become the educator, the gatekeeper, all right? You're the Gandalf of your chapter, and you want to make sure that we are on the right path in understanding what Lawrence and Jewett are up to, okay? So when you approach your chapter, 3 quick things to keep in mind. First, you need to provide a clear chapter summary, all right? And so let me distinguish what I mean. Not just a chapter summary where you summarize the chapter for us. Give us a clear summary, okay? Work on not bouncing around. This is a little bit more of a formal exercise, okay? So you should be conscientious of what you're saying. It should be prepared and rehearsed. So perhaps more so than a typical video discussion, you should understand that chapter through and through so that you can present it to us. You should be taking notes or marking up the book or something to that effect while reading it so that you can properly understand it for yourself, digest it, and possibly put together those kinds of cliff notes or crib sheet to present to us in oral form or fashion. All right, these are oral reports. This is not a tell me kind of what you sort of maybe read and barely remember. It is give us a clear video report on your chapter. All right, so that's number one, clear chapter summary. Number two, draw out the key themes and arguments made. All right, so be able to identify what are the authors up to in this chapter. What are the key themes they stress and highlight, and what kinds of arguments are they making by the subject matter they choose to assess, to analyze, to evaluate. All right, and so here's a cheat sheet. It's called the table of contents. Well, fortunately for us, this table of contents in the Myth American Superhero has all of those themes kind of lined out. So if you're having a hard time, a difficult time discerning what are they talking about, they're throwing so much information at me, go back to their outline in the table of contents. They're telling you exactly what they're writing about. So those little bursts give you specificity to go off of. But it's not enough. I am not looking for, and we don't benefit from you just regurgitating these short list phrases. Put it in your own words. What are the authors saying? So it goes back to our theme number one, clear chapter summary. So clear chapter summary, highlight the key themes or arguments made, and finally, third and finally, talk about any tie-ins to previous readings, maybe Jewett and Lawrence, maybe Gaviler's superhero comics, maybe Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, maybe alternate texts that have stuck with you over the long haul, okay? But find a couple of tie-ins to previous readings or class discussion, all right? So make those connections. I think making those connections to readings is an important part of our process. It's an important part of us learning to make those connections that are a part of not only our educational outcomes in the communication, media, and ethics major, but also learning to have that active critical thinking approach to all media in its various forms across numerous mediums, including print, including video, and so on. All right, so one more summary, clear chapter summary of the text, your assigned chapter. Draw out the key themes or arguments made by Lawrence and Jewett, and finally, create some tie-ins to either previous readings or previous discussions or whatever else is sitting heavy on your mind, on your hearts as you read through your chapter of the week. I will be waiting right here in the digital domain of our asynchronous space, awaiting your fantastic video reports, and I look forward to our comments and feedback that we'll provide to each other in week 4 of Special Topics in Media Studies, Mythic Media in America. Come 4103. Thank you.